Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the new video. And we're approaching the final weeks of this Legend League season. So the 320s do keep counting. We really need it. So let's get straight into it. And hopefully, we'll be able to get it done today, too. Okay, so first up, we have this quite popular double rage base. And I actually used to go with the RC into one of the rage compartments, but I've recently found that this corner entry and trying to get the monolith down is a lot better, because then you have a very clean pathing into the rage towers with your roots. So let's go for that. Keep this fox alive for as long as possible, and I think when we get this monolith down, we should be good. Maybe we'll get some extra value, but will depend on how healthy the fox and the RC is still. So let's use another invis right here. Hopefully we'll get the Inferno and some extra too. Think it will be worth it to use another invisibility just to set up the funnel with these sweepers and everything. And okay, we actually get some pretty nice extra value. So let's recall out right now, and we can use the king and queen on this top corner, and I'll wall break the king into the town hall. That way you can see the funnel for the roots is just so good to enter in from the rage towers. So let's get the entire army down. Freeze the X-bow too, because my queen was getting pretty low. Unfortunately, she got targeted by the X-bow. But let's pop the warden ability. And this is looking pretty clean already. So now I'll use the overgrowth once this rage compartment triggers. I'll use it on half of the compartment to wrap around this, like right now. Pop the king ability too. Might have been better to save it actually, but let's get some cleanup down. And this minion prince and king on the backside might be quite a bit of a problem, so let's try to deal with that with the skeleton spell and the rocket spear ability, and use these last 3 headhunters. Hopefully snipe the king and the minion prince. Meanwhile, the rage compartments is getting wrecked, and this should be good. We have more than enough stuff left. And yeah, this is my new approach on this base, and I'm liking it much more than going in from the rage tower itself, because the roots funnel isn't really that good. Like you see now, it's just perfect. Going straight ahead, and that's what you want with roots. So next up, we have this double rage side compartments, and I usually hit it always like this. So I'm gonna use the log launcher for the monolith, and to set that up, I'll use the RC right here. And then once you get this side compartment down, and then it should be perfect to use the log launcher on this monolith without taking that much damage on it. So the fox did die, so let's use another invis, hopefully get this expo down. But I think it's actually would have been way better to save this last invisibility. So let's set up this queen and log launcher with the skeleton spell too, and king on the other side with the witches, and this should be good as a funnel to go straight in with the roots from here. Here's some headhunters for these heroes. Hopefully the log launcher doesn't actually get targeted. That would be pretty good, but this minion prince will stay alive. Meanwhile, the funnel is pretty nice right now, and the rage compartment triggered already, so I'm gonna use the overgrowth up there. Actually want to get this other ricochet cannon in too, but we missed. Kind of a bad overgrowth, but hopefully we don't split up the army too badly, and it seems like it's okay. So this rocket spear ability will do quite a lot of work, and let's see where we need this freeze the most. If we can keep it, oh no, I'll use it right there. Hopefully the RC can take down the queen, this ricochet cannon. And then yeah, kind of a weird split right now, but we just have so much stuff left in comparison with how many defenses there still are. So this is another triple. So right here we have a variation of a Wolfie base, but I usually would go with RC from behind the spitters, but I know that's exactly where the traps are. So let me actually try to do another entry. I'm not sure if it will work for the RC, since it's not actually ideal, but yeah, we'll try this one. The reason I say it's not actually ideal is because the Crusher Mortar will always do damage to the RC and the Fox, and these heroes are probably going to be standing in my way. Okay, also bad pathing for me. That's quite unfortunate as well. Yeah, that's what I mean. Pretty much everything went wrong into this compartment, which is why, wait, yeah, the funnel isn't really set right now. So we'll try to do something about that. I'm thinking of going with the log launcher and for the crusher mortar, just like this, so we can enter into this 1 to 2 o'clock compartment. Put the king on the other side and go with the roots from here. This definitely isn't an ideal hit, but we should still be good. As long as this queen, yeah, this is why the crusher mortar is just so annoying, because the bounced through effect always kills the log launcher and the queen, but still quite decent value as long as we don't get too bad of a split, but we do. So I'll also center the overgrowth since we had a split already. When these Teslas pop up, I'll just use the super barbs on it and then pop the RC ability because this side is getting thinned out quite badly. Rage up the king and queen. Here's the king ability, and yeah, not the cleanest entry, but we get it done anyways. Just good to know where the traps are on these bases, because yeah, otherwise I probably would have used the RC behind this pitter. Okay, so here we have another one of these double rage core bases. Pretty common style with a little bit of edits, but the usual approach does work pretty well still. So let's enter from here, get a little bit of value with this ricochet cannon and the multi-archer tower, and then we should be more than good to enter with the roots into the monolith and use the log launcher king queen setup. So I thought kind of weird that the RC retargeted after targeting the defending RC, but who cares? Let's set up this log launcher just like this and put the king and the witches in. And then we can go from the other corner with the roots just like so. Meanwhile, this king and queen are doing pretty good work, but I do want them to stay alive, so should have actually added this ice golem there a little bit sooner. The king is going to get an amazing spiky ball off into the core. Luckily, it doesn't actually mess up our roots pathing. So let's just pop this warden ability right here. Use this overgrowth to split up the backsides and rage up again into this very heavy compartment. Let's just freeze too, because the warden ability wore off. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. Although this is a very heavy backside, so a lot of things can go wrong here. But usually when your entry is good enough, then you have more than enough stuff left for the backside. Also, that's exactly why I'm not using every invisibility in the RC walk, to have them for here. And yeah, we got this. Next up, we have once again the same base, or pretty much the same base. So let's just get straight into the exact same approach and see how well we can reproduce it. We don't need a lot of value. Okay, this time the RC is targeting the defending hero, so that's something. And when this multi-archer tower goes down, I'll just recall out. Might have been a little bit too greedy on this air defense, but let's go for the same log launcher right here. And the root from the other corner. This time I'm going to use the ice golem together with the roots. Not sure which one is actually best, so let's just see. Annoyingly, the king is going to the outside, so I'm trying to funnel him in again. And then let's just use the warden ability right now. Okay, the king did go in at last, so let's pop his ability and use the overgrowth on this side too. Should have actually used it on the other side because the king would have gotten some more value. But our army did get thinned out quite a bit more than our last hit, so let's be careful into this heavy ass backside. Also a little bit late with the headhunters, but we have our invisibilities left. Perfect freeze timing with the ice golem too. So this is definitely closer, but we should still be okay. Let's use the last invisibility, and hopefully this RC can target the minion prince ASAP. Yeah, perfect. Definitely not as clean as the first one, but we got it anyway. So I do think it's because the king didn't go inside of the base, and then the queen died because she's much more vulnerable like that, and then this is the difference between the two. Okay, next up we have this diamond style base, and I actually know this one, and it's pretty well trapped around the spitter, so let me not use that entry and go for the log launcher approach into the monolith. So let's take down one of these sides with the RC to set up this log launcher. Not sure how far I'll be going with the RC. Think it'll depend where the traps are actually starting, because I know they're in that corner. Just use another invis and then see. Yeah, this is exactly where the trap is starting, so let's not use another invisibility and just recall out and set up this queen with the log launcher right here. Use a skeleton spell for this monolith and king as the counter funnel, together with a nice golem because there is a little bit of damage there and I would like to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, we're putting in the whole army into the middle. Actually forgot the warden. Luckily we saw on time. And then let's rage up right here and pop the warden ability soon. So now let's see and use this overgrowth right here and then pop the RC ability for the town hall. Meanwhile, the army should wrap around nicely for this 12 o'clock side. We can use some cleanup with the baby dragon. And yeah, we don't have that much army left. Definitely might have been good to save the queen right there actually, but we have so many spells left, so this will definitely be a triple. Just rage up the RC, and if she gets targeted or is about to die, I'll just use the invisibility, but we won't need it. This is a clean triple. Okay, we have this double poison tower base. So on this one, I'm looking to kind of split up the base in half, and I would love to get one of these spitters down so I can start my roots from behind the other spitter. So that's what I'm going for right now. This will indeed be trapped, but should still be worth it for the value. Definitely if I can get all the way to this scatter shot. So let's just try that. The fox did die already, so that's a little bit of unfortunate, but we can get this poison tower down too, and then just recall out. Hopefully the scatter shot goes down from the aura. Perfect timing. And then we can start our roots from behind the other spitter and actually negate the entire spitter damage. So that's pretty good. Let's use our roots from right here. Meanwhile, this king is dying pretty fast. A little bit faster than I expected, but hopefully it won't matter. Would have liked him to go a little bit further, because then my roots will stay in the inner ring of the base while the king takes down the outer. But yeah, doesn't matter, we got it, I think. Use this overgrowth right here. Meanwhile, I'm trying to funnel out this top corner that the king left. Let's rage up before this overgrowth wakes up again, and use the skeleton spell for the overgrowth part. Yeah, we do have a lot left. So I'm just thinking of using a freeze if the RC, for example, would be targeted by the multi-gear tower, but it's not, so we can use it for the RC if she's in danger, but it's looking like she won't be in danger. So we can swag it. Pretty clean approach, except for the king dying pretty early. We needed to funnel out this corner a little bit quicker. But yeah, we got it done anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, like and subscribe to see how far we can make it this season. Now we hit rank 23, so see you in the next video, guys.